What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Dad's Rad Fords. Got a Rad Ford in here. Can you see? I'm in front of it. A little Cobra action for you. 01 Cobra in here in the shop for some repairs. She's a little smoky, a little blue smoke out the tailpipes. So yeah, we're gonna do, I've already kind of done some preliminary checking out on this car. Did a leak down test on it, compression test. Bottom end of the engine seems healthy. Quite positive. We've just got some valve stem seals leaking a little bit. Not a big deal, not the simplest thing to do on a 4-valve, but it's really not miserable. If you've got all the right tools, to get the valve springs and all that stuff off, it's really not that bad. It's just work. So that's what we're gonna get into today. Some more working videos. You guys from the comments and the views, you seem to like this live action in-shop kind of stuff, what we do day to day, week to week. This is the meat and potatoes of the operation here, fixing cars. In the meantime, we get to play with our own hot rods, but for the most part, we got to fix everybody else's junk, keep everybody else going, keep everybody happy, good, running the roads good, everybody's cars in top shape. That's what we do around here. Before I just keep rambling on and just BSing with you for a while, let's just grab you off the stand in a second. Luckily, Dad's Rad Kid is on the way. She can film for me today for you guys. So yeah, give me just a minute. Let me get you off the stand. We'll kind of go over this thing, give you a once over on it. What we're working with, it's got some pretty cool stuff done to it. I like the stance, the wheels. I'm not a big black wheel guy, but the offset, the fitment of the wheels is really nice. I like them. The car's pretty nice overall. So let's get you off the stand, talk about what we're doing, get this thing ripped apart, get the valve covers off, get some valve stem seals out of it, see what we got going on. The only thing that sucks on one of these versus doing a little 2-valve is there's 32 valves instead of only 16 we got to do. So, it's what it is. I'm no stranger to a little work. Let's get after it. Okay, so here's our 4.6 4-valve with the neon yellow valve covers. Interesting touch. Looks kind of, stands out against the white, I guess. Kind of a, you guys get the gist of how that looks. So yeah, we're gonna just start by getting the coil cover off. I already kind of took the throttle cable and cruise control cable out of the way. I believe we'll probably have to remove the clutch cable, at least pull it up out of the way unless there's just enough for it to come out. But I'm gonna start by pulling the coil cover, pull the coils out, get the bolts out of the valve cover, and see how well it comes out. The driver's side is the challenge side because there's stuff in the way. Like we may even have to pull the master cylinder out of the way. I'm not sure. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. So yeah, we have to pull the master, but we'll go over here to the passenger side. On this side, just the intake air tube. And then we can get to everything. I'm sorry, I'm just scanning things with my eyes as I'm talking to you. Yeah, so once this tube's out of the way, it'll be wide open to get this valve cover right off. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, like I said, start with the driver's side because that's the hardest side. That's how kind of my working MO is. Like, if I'm doing bank to bank or doing a job, whatever, I try to do the hardest things first. So you get through that struggle bus, and then once you get moving on, you feel like you're accomplished. You're not like, oh man, been working on it for 2 hours and you still got to do something you don't want to do. So that's my prowess for that. So let me move to getting this valve cover off. Okay, so getting the rocker arms off. Here's the tool that you're going to use. Hooks under this part, the curved part here hooks under the camshaft. Then this part down here, I can hold it without my pin dropping out, fits over your valve, compresses the valve down. Then you can, so once you, let me get in here. So once you can use that tool, slip under here, then you pull the valve down, then you can get your rocker arm out. Then you can put air in the cylinder, compress the spring again without the valve going down, get your keepers out. So that's kind of the process for that. It's a little finicky, a little time consuming, but it's not terrible. So what I think I'm gonna do is do all the intakes first. That way I can be done with the top side. Put the cam caps all back on, torque them down, then go to the bottom so I don't have cam caps off and stuff can move and all that kind of stuff. So just try to take one cam bridge off at a time. I'm gonna do these fronts that are exposed now, and then I'll put the camshaft bridge back on, the cam caps back on, then I'll move back here, pop this one off, do these. You don't have to take this cam cap and stuff off. It just gives you a little more room. No big deal to pop it off, put it back in there to torque stuff down. So I'm going to continue moving on, getting these out. Like I say, it's tedious, it takes time, especially the actual, once we get to the valve stem seal itself. We'll have to put air in the cylinder, get the spring off, get the seal underneath the spring replaced, and go from there. Okay, so there's our valve cover off. I couldn't recall if the Hydro Boost had to be moved out of the way or not, so you saw me under the dash. There's enough room to leave all of your lines hooked up. See, the master cylinder is just hanging from the lines. I took the nut off the proportioning valve. This proportioning valve, I took the nut off from the inner fender to give me just more room to move everything around, and now I'm wide open and move this harness, and now we're wide open and can work on our valve train instead of fighting around, because these back two are on the very bottom and they're kind of a pain to get to. So yeah, just pull your Hydro Boost, all the lines can stay on, just put something over your positive terminal of the battery, or take the battery out of the car better yet, and it can just hang out up here out of your way while you're working. So yeah, let me get into it. I'm gonna start popping some cam caps off. Pretty sure if I recall, the top cam, you can pretty much just loosen all of these, get all the rocker arms out. The bottom cam, I believe I'm gonna have to use the wedge on the chain to get some slack in the tension so I can loosen this one. The valve stem seals have to be done with or don't, I guess have to be, but the tool is designed to do the job with the cam in place, because it hooks under there, pushes down, get your spring off. It ain't that bad. So yeah, we're gonna put our tool down there, hook it under the cam, and then just pry down, and then you can take your fingers and get a better grip on this valve. There we go. Okay, so we're into our Cobra now. Got my camera chick here. Show you guys a little bit. I've already did the first cylinder. So rocker arms off. This goes in place of the spark plug, and shoot air in the cylinder. And we got a valve open, so we're gonna have to rotate the engine over just a little to get these cams off of the cam lobe. Okay, so finally I got everything set up to show you guys how this works. It's kind of hard to see, but you have this tool, hooks under the cam, then the bottom part of it sits on top of your valve spring, and you can see when I pull this down, it takes the tension off the spring. So the idea is to compress the spring as much as you can, pull these two little keepers out. I'm sure any of you guys watching this are familiar with a set of valve keepers. Now you can simply relieve the tension off of that, set your tool aside, and here's our valve spring assembly. And now you can remove, let me grab a pair of pliers, I'll get the valve stem seal off. If I can get it up out of here easily. They're kind of tricky to get the stem seal off. There we go. And there is your valve stem seal. You can tell that one's got, this one's, I haven't found a torn one yet, but they get kind of carboned up and hard, and oil leaks past them. So actually that one has a slight, I'll probably do that taken out. Anyways, that's your valve stem seal. The quick and easy, yeah, no big deal, right? That's all simple, doesn't look too bad. What sucks about this job is putting all the stuff back together. There's just not much room, and you have to hold the tool. What I wish somebody, and they probably have, I need to look. We need a tool like the LS tools where you can tighten the valves down and it stays there and you don't got to hold what's a pain to me about this is you got to hold, like I said, holding the spring tool down. So you're going together, you got to hold tension on that, hold the ratchet, and then you only have one hand to feed the keepers in there with a magnet. It just sucks. I'm just complaining. Yeah, so it's not a terrible job. Getting to it, getting the parts on and off is super easy. It's just super fidgety to get those two keepers back in there because you only get one hand, because you have to use the other hand to hold it. It's kind of hard. Like I was gonna have Maddie hold the ratchet, hold the valve spring over, but you gotta be really careful. You don't want it, you gotta pull it very straight because the valve spring can't walk. Like you don't want it to be off-centered. Like we'll use this as a All my screwdrivers untangled. So your valve stem goes through here. Your keepers go around the valve stem. You don't want it to be, you pull it down and it gets cocked. It's very easy to get it off center. Well, then both of your keepers won't go in there and you wind up fighting them, and you fighting them any dang ways. So yeah, I'm just rambling on. It's just, if anybody out there is actually out there doing it and struggling, you ain't the only one. I've been doing this for years and I haven't done one of these in a long, long time, but I was correct on remembering how bad it sucks. Because it sucks. But whatever. I got the first cylinder done, just kind of getting run through. I figured I'd show you guys the actual pulling it apart. Once I get the new stem seal on, I'll show you. I put just a little bit of trans gel on the stem seal, slide down there. Actually, I'll show you another thing important. They come with these little clear tubes that slides over the valve like that, if I can do it without dropping it. Slides right over the valve and covers the slots where the keepers go, because the valve has slots in it cut for the keepers right here. As you slide the valve stem seal past that, it can cut them. So they give you this little plastic piece. Definitely use that. You don't want to cut a brand new valve stem seal. This is too much of a pain in the butt job to have to do again. So I'm going to continue on. Probably show you a couple of this. Maybe we'll set up the camera somewhere, get you some time-lapse action of this. It's kind of hard to film, work, everything, do all the tedious stuff. I'm trying to give you the meat and potatoes of the job. Just basically all I'm doing right now is just telling you how bad it sucks. So let me continue on, moving on. We'll cut back to you when we get some more live action going. I'll try to get a little time-lapse footage of me in here fidgeting with these stupid keepers. I've got a solid hour in doing the first cylinder, and it's frustrating. And I've only done one cylinder, and I'm sick of it, and I'm ready to be done, but we got 7 more to go. So suck it up, Buttercup. Let's get it done. Okay, good morning. It's the next morning. I'm not sure if it's good morning for y'all, but it's the next morning for me. Day kind of got away from me yesterday. I didn't start on it until around lunchtime or so. Anyways, y'all don't care about that. So got the driver's side all done. All the valve stem seals in, springs, rockers, everything back on this side. So now I got to, the cam caps are just run down. I got that all run down. I was like, okay, I'm done for tonight. So I got to torque the cam caps, jam the valve cover back on, jam all this crap back in there, the hydro boost, the master cylinder, power steering reservoir, all that stuff. So I'm about to, you're about to see some time-lapse footage of that, because I don't think you need to see every little single nut and bolt of all this. It's literally just torque cams, slap the valve cover on, fold the hydro boost back in there, bolt it up from the inside, bolt the master up. It's all stupid simple. And then we'll get to this side, which there's not much we got to take off on this side. So this side should be a little easier. Like I said before, I always like to do the hard crap first, so that way when you're halfway through the job or whatever, you feel like you're accomplished and you're not still dreading the hardest part of the job. Get the hard part out of the way so you can cruise control through the rest of it. Hopefully cruise control through the rest of it. So yeah, let's get the time lapse going. Just got some good tunes on the time lapse and jam this unit back together. Our little 4.6 4-valve project. I haven't seen any smoking guns on the valve stem seals just yet. A couple that were kind of hard as soon as I grabbed some of them with the pick and pull them out, and they were kind of brittle. So anyways, 01 model car, 100 and some odd thousand miles, to be expected. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing crazy. Everything's clean inside. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so there we go. Seen it. We got our driver's side all back together. Everything under the dash done as far as the booster and all that stuff goes. Valve cover back in place. Power steering reservoir back on. Driver's side is done. Moving on to the passenger side. You can see I got the AC machine hooked up, sucking the AC system down. Now we're going to, probably don't have to take the AC line and stuff out of the way, but anytime I'm doing something, my work ethic is I'm quick to pull a component off that's not that bad to pull off, that'll make my life doing the actual job a lot easier. So you might think, oh man, it's gonna take so much more time to take this off, I'll just work around it. You're gonna spend more time working around, cussing the stuff out, fidgeting around it to where you can just take the extra few minutes, take the component off so you can do, first of all, a better job because you can get in there and work. So, I mean, yeah, this is not like hugely in the way, but it's very close. Once I get the valve cover off, so I'm gonna probably pull the accumulator out from, I don't know if you can see that accumulator out from back here, this AC line, probably pop the throttle body off just to give me as much of a wide open work area as I can, because this is a very, very fidgety job. If you saw me struggling, I'm not sure how much good footage I got on the driver's side, but it's not hard. It's just fidgety because the valves are kind of way down in the head. The keepers are tiny. And what sucks about the tool is like you have to hold tension on the tool, so you lose one hand. So you have to hold it with one hand and then use your magnet and stuff. I'll kind of give you a little more, I think I already talked about it a little bit, but yeah. Anyways, so not a terrible job, not miserable, just finicky, time consuming, will drive you insane with trying to get the keepers in and all that stuff. And then you'll do it and you'll cuss it out 4 or 5 times, and all of a sudden you go at it and they just both fall right in there and done deal. Like, I'm like, dude, what the? Anyway, so let's jam apart, get this passenger side apart, and I'll catch back up with you in a minute. Okay, so we got our passenger side apart, driver's side all back together. Before I start any kind of time lapse or anything, I'm gonna give you a gist of how this tool works for getting the rockers out. Getting the actual valve spring off, tool works the same. You have to use this tool to pull the rocker, then you can use it. Then you can put air in your cylinder once your rockers are off and do your valve springs. So, first things first, get the rocker arm out from under the cam. It's kind of tricky. It's kind of a pain in the butt, honestly. The tool works good, but not that good. It's a finicky ass tool to use, period. So there's one. Oh. Yeah, there's just barely enough room to get all this stuff out. So yeah, there's how you get the rocker arms off. Show you this side, the bottom one. It's a pain in the butt. This job sucks. Like, anybody wanting to do one, think long and hard before you do. To do the front side, you got to pull the pin. Take my ratchet off the tool. Pull the pin out of the tool. I don't know if I'm showing this good. And swap the foot the other way. So now you can get in here and you can get the front sides off. Yeah, see, that came out way easier. Big controversy on keeping rocker arms in line, putting them exactly back where they go. I mean, I mostly, I guess, agree with that. Not a terrible idea. I think if you get one mixed up, it's not end of the world. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see, when I lay them out, I try to put them back where they go. If they don't, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, sure, it's worn into that cam lobe. Sure, yeah, maybe. It sounds good. I've accidentally moved them around several times. Not on this, on an engine. I'm just talking about engines in general. Put the rocker arms right back where they were, put lifters right back where they were. Yes, that is important. I don't think it's a... if you get something out of order, you wind up throwing all your rocker arms in a pile, nah, it ain't that big a deal. It ain't that big a deal. It'll still run fine. It'll still be good and happy for a long time. That's my opinion. Well, I was just looking at these cam lobes, and they got some pretty good wear on them. Nothing that I can feel, but they got some significant wear patterns on them. So I think in this case, I probably will try to put them right back because there is some pretty significant, I mean, that's a pretty good bit of wear on that cam right there. None of them are concave or anything like that. There's no, it's just discoloration. I don't know. Some of these don't look so, that one's got a pretty solid couple stripes around it. I'm going to look at a couple of these rockers. Just checking the cam lobe with my fingernail. There's a couple of these grooves I can actually feel. Kind of makes me unsettled, but oh yeah. We'll have to strongly pay attention to those when we take it off. Make sure there's nothing in our roller wheel of the lifter that is causing an issue or anything like that. So let me pop this spark plug out. We can shoot air in the cylinder. Pull this spark plug out. If it's in like the other side, somebody put these things in at about 150 foot-pounds of torque. Not too bad. Other side, I about needed a 1/2-inch ratchet to get the spark plugs out. This is our tool to shoot air in the cylinder with. Basically, the, what am I trying to say? Hose, adapter fitting out of my leak down test kit. I've already done on this engine, so let's put some air in the cylinders. Now, by putting air in the cylinders, that's gonna hold our valves up. So now we can take the keepers off of it take the keepers off of the spring, remove the valve spring, and our valve spring will stay up because there's now air in the cylinder pushing the valves up so they won't fall down. It's just as simple as it sounds. Let me grab the air hose. And yes, the engine will probably roll over some, no big deal. It's gonna shoot the piston to the bottom. See, just like that. So now I can show you the painstaking, well, getting them out is not painstaking. Going together is what really sucks. Best friend tool in this job, really small, not sure how good that's showing up. This is a really small magnet. Ideally, you want a really weak magnet. This magnet is way too strong, just like, that thing is like strong for a tiny little magnet. The reason you want a weak magnet, because when you go to feed them in there, what happens, you want to be able to feed the keepers in with some grease on them, get them stuck around the valve, and then you can pull your magnet away and it doesn't pull the keepers off. If you have a really weak magnet, then once your keepers are in there, you'll be able to just kind of pull your magnet away, but this one sticks hard. Anyways, that's what you want. So we still got our tool set up here for the very front spring. Position it so you can see the keepers. Switch your ratchet to the other side because it's hitting the cam. The timing chain tensioner. Press it down. With air in the cylinder, now the valve stays up. Grab the keepers out just like that. Easy enough, right? Yep, no problem. Problem ensues going together. Yeah, now the keepers are off. Since there's air in there, the valve is staying up. There's our valve spring, no problems there. Don't expect to see any problems there. A couple ways to get the seal off. You can take a pick, poke around the top rubbery part like a long pick. This is my last resort if they're in there, especially if you're, because I didn't see any smoking guns on the other side as far as what's wrong, so I'm still looking for some torn valve stem seals, and I try not to dig that in there if I'm trying to pull them out in one piece. If you're doing an engine rebuild or whatever, you don't care what they look like, you're not really looking for an issue, snatch them out. But in lieu of using that, I'll try to grab them with a pair of curved needle nose pliers where you can kind of get in there like this, grab it, twist it a little bit, and sometimes they'll pop up there and won't damage the seal. Yeah, just like that. That one's got a lot of carbon around the top of it, like just crusty oil, but not a big deal. Okay, new valve stem seal. New stem seal. I like to put a little, I love trans gel. A little bit of trans gel in there, just to give it some lubrication on the back side of the seal. Once you slide it over there, I'm gonna show you something else. The valve stem seal kit comes with these little clear tubes. It's got a small hole on one end, large hole. This slides over the valve stem seal. So then you can slide the valve stem seal over this clear tube, so it's not having to go past the little notches in the valve where the keepers go, because then it'll tear your valve stem seal. So this makes a smooth surface for the valve stem to just slide over. And this part is super simple. This is just put this on there, put this back, put your new seal down on there, push it all the way down. Something like a trim tool or something will help push it all the way down to the bottom. Then you can pull your little plastic sleeve off of there. We don't need it now. And my fingers are slippery, I can't grab nothing. So yeah, there's our little tube. It's over there. Put the spring right back on. Oh boy. And now try to fidget your stupid keepers in there where they go. So my way I usually go about it, you got two of them, obviously, they make a full circle. So I'll take one of them like this. See, my magnet's kind of bent in a J shape almost. So take the keeper, they definitely, can you see that they are tapered? The bottom is smaller than the top. The wider part obviously goes to the top. So in theory, you press the valve spring down past where the groove is, and then you put the first keeper in there. Then I'll let tension up on the valve spring to kind of hold this in place, grab my second one, and usually takes a magnet, a screwdriver, a couple of little small screwdrivers to get it fidgeted in there. I'm not sure how this is focusing on camera. To get the two halves in there. So you get the first half in there on the little knurls, get it locked in, put your second one in there, let tension on the valve spring, and it's conical and it closes these in there so they can't spread apart. So here we go. So like I said, magnet, a couple screwdrivers, probably, if it's off camera, a lot of cuss words, and then you're done. You move on to the next. So yeah, let's see if I can do this with you guys on camera. Probably not. So once again, there's a little bit of trans gel in the end of the keeper to kind of make it stick. And here we go. Another trick I did do on the other side, I feel like there may not be room in this front one. Pair of vice grips around the camshaft, just loosely, and it helps take up the slack in the tool, because the tool wants to walk. When you pull it this way, it wants to walk side to side just naturally by design. So yeah, this might not work on the front cylinder because it has this shoulder, but yeah, nope, we're just gonna have to fight it. It sucks. Dang it, that sucks. Okay, we're on there now. Oh man, this part sucks, guys, I'm telling you. It's fidgety. Okay, so there's one. Or not there's one, there's the cam pressed down. The problem is too, yeah, since it's a magnet, it literally sticks to every single freaking thing it can find to stick to along the path to the valve. Get on there. It's close, guys. Small screwdriver. I know you can't see nothing from where y'all are at. Got it on there, sort of, kinda. Push it up there with my screwdriver. Okay, there's one on there. Like I said, I usually will let the tension up off the tool, let it hang out right there while I grab the second one, because that's when it gets fun. It's trying to put the second one in, trying not to let your magnet grab. That's why I was stressing about a weak magnet. It's trying not to let your magnet grab the other keeper while you're trying to feed this keeper in. I know it sounds like a lot, and it is a freaking lot. Okay, here we go, here we go. The tough part. So also what you can do when you get your first one in there is kind of rotate it around to one side to where you think you can get the magnet in the other side. I'm gonna try to feed this in from the, dang it, see what I'm saying? Sticks to everything. This magnet is too strong to be so damn. Man, I made that look easy as heck, didn't I? Put it right in place, done. Okay, one done. One done. There you go, that's the gist of it. And I might can go ahead and feed my rocker back in there. Now, I'm not sure. Let me see. On the other side, I just jammed out all the valve stem seals, and then I came back and put the rockers in. I may see if I can snake this rocker. Oh no, I can't snake the rocker in there because I got air in the cylinder, so I can't crack that. Okay, that's fine. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. Probably about to get some time-lapse footage of the next ones because every single one, same way. Just want to show you a little bit of the detailed process on actually doing this. It is a process. It's tedious. It's, what is a word? Procedural. That's what I was trying to think. It's very procedural because everything has to be done in an order. It's finicky, procedural. You need to pay attention to what you're doing. You don't want to drop anything inside there. So yeah, I'm rambling on. Let's get time-lapse going, jam this out so I can get some music playing and get you guys some time-lapse music going, and we're gonna crank this out because I'm ready to get this job done. Okay, got all 32 of our valve stem seals done, everything reassembled, all the valve train together. Phone went dead during the time lapse. Sorry if you didn't get all that. I'm sure y'all ain't terribly upset, but last thing to do, torque all these cam caps down, and then I'm ready to do the valve cover and finish this deal up. I just kind of start from the center on these caps, work my way bigger. I like to torque them both down at both middle ones at the end, and then so I'll come back to here. These torqued to 89 inch-pounds. So now let's go here. This is a very time consuming job. I like to try to depict a lot of my work to where a lot of you guys can do it in the driveway, show you the ins and outs. Unless you're a trained professional, such as myself, you ain't got no business doing this job. No offense to anybody out there, and you hardcore shade trees and whatnot, but this is a pretty technical job. You need to be, first thing you need to be to do this job is extremely patient. It just takes a while. It's not like hard back-breaking work. It's just very time-consuming, very tedious, very procedural. Like, you really need to do this by the steps, or if you don't do it exactly by the steps in the book, because it's not really a wrong way to do this, I guess, procedure-wise. You just need to come up with your own procedure, your own setup, your own set of kind of tools and magnet setup you're using. I talked about the magnets earlier for getting your keepers in and out. That's really the worst part, is getting those keepers back on, because it's just, the valves are way down in the cylinder head. The keepers are tiny. The valve's kind of short, so it doesn't protrude, doesn't have a lot of valve height on a mod motor. It's just, you know, one of them deals, but should be pretty good. Should remedy his little smoky startup, and it was smoking, like say if it idles for a while and he takes off from a stoplight, he said he'd get a puff of smoke behind it. So everything else checked out good, nothing leaking past the rings or anything. So freshy set of valve stem seals. Ought to have them fixed up. So I'm gonna go ahead and jam through the rest of this, get the valve cover back on, all the AC components, because I took a lot of the AC stuff off over here. You don't have to, but like I said before, like, if it's a little bit of work to take something off, but it saves you a lot of bit of your time and a lot of bit of your cussing and frustration, snatch the part off. Like, I took the accumulator out, took the lines off. No, they're not big pieces. They're not really in the way, but it's just one more thing. And like you saw, like, there's a lot going on. Like, you really, to do this job efficiently, if there's any way you can get 4 hands, like if you can grow 2 other arms and hands, you're done. You're good. So if you figure that out, I'll sub some work out to you. So anyways, I'm going to jam through this, get the valve cover back on. I'll pick you back up in a second. Okay, so you saw we got a little bit of that stuff back on. I figured I'd pause you, take you off the time lapse for a minute while we do this. Yeah, no big deal. I just thought I'd go through show you guys about putting spark plug tube seals on, all that kind of stuff. Our cover's pretty clean, so I'm not gonna go crazy like putting it in the parts washer or nothing. I just want to clean any oil residue out of this little gasket rail here. Just makes your gasket fit tighter. These press in place gaskets, if there's a lot of oil in the channel here, they'll wind up just pushing themselves back out of the groove there. So just, it's not crazy. Some gaskets are more finicky than others, but just make sure it's fairly clean in there. And putting the gasket in place is literally just match up the contours of it. This gasket fits very nice, very tight in there. A lot of them are kind of floppy. They don't fit in that groove really good. You wind up having to put a little dab of silicone in the channel and stuff like that, and I hate that. Something, pet peeve, if it takes a gasket, guess what? It don't take silicone. I understand sometimes you have to use some silicone, but I cannot stand to see somebody put new gaskets on something and smear both sides of it with silicone. I'm like, well, why in the hell did you even put a gasket on it in the first place? Why didn't you just silicone the old freaking gasket in place? Yeah. I don't know. I don't like that crap. I don't like that. I don't like silicone on a gasket, basically. My point of that. If it takes a new gasket, new seal, put a new gasket, new seal, unless the manufacturer specifies add RTV, or if it had RTV or silicone from the factory. I don't understand why you guys feel the need. Not you guys. I'm not saying all y'all, but I see a lot of this from other shops and stuff where it's like, brand new, say they'll use this valve cover gasket and they'll put a bead of silicone in here, smack the gasket in there, and put another bead of silicone outside. I'm like, well, what's the point of that? What are you doing? You ain't doing nothing besides making a freaking mess and making it a pain in the butt for the next person that's got to do a repair. Then you got to clean all that freaking silicone off. You know, I don't know. I don't know if any of you guys out there can relate. Some of my professional mechanic people out there can relate. So that's basically that. On this side, you got all these little guys that go around the bolts. Just pluck those out. Looks like somebody put a thin layer of sealer or something on these also. Hey, to each their own, do y'all, but I'm just saying, that ain't my style. I think silicone on a gasket, for one, it just looks like crap. So, okay, ready to go on the car. Bright yellow valve cover, looking good. Good as it can look. A little dirty. I'll give it a little wipe down once I get her bolted in place. I think he wanted to change the color of these. I think the previous owner did this. Kind of a wow factor when you open the hood. I'm not hating on it. Over here to the car, get our valve cover. Kind of should have waited to put that AC line in, but I didn't. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm glad to be on the home stretch of this job. I ain't even gonna lie to you. One thing, half the reason I brought y'all over here to show valve cover install is to emphasize this point right here. So, anytime you have what they call a T-joint, where two pieces meet like that, and then you have a piece that goes on top, that's a T-joint. You have to silicone it. These valve covers were leaking, and they're pretty new valve cover gaskets because somebody just did timing chains and stuff on it. But on both sides, no silicone on the T-joint. So, just wanted to make a point of that. Most of y'all know that kind of stuff, but some don't. Some of our Motorcraft high performance silicone TA357s, the part number is the absolute best silicone ever. Yes, yes, even better than the old school 7.3 gray stuff. This actually replaces the 7.3 gray silicone. So, just a little smear on your T-joint there. Prevent any small leaks. Not a huge deal, but it will leak there. So, and I'm gonna pop that AC hose right back off that I just, and the phone's ringing. And call them back. Work never stops, fellas. That phone, the old work phone, or my cell phone, never, ever stops ringing. Seems like anyways. This heater hose is a little bit in the way. And man, this stuff is fraying off of it also. Yeah, it's like it's growing hair. Okay, let's see if we can get our valve cover stuffed in place now. We got a little more room. Son of a biscuit. Stupid vacuum line. Everything's in the way. Boy, get out of my way. There. Oh my God. Dude. Hopefully there's room to pull that up once I get the valve cover bolted on. Good Lord. There she goes. Okay, there's our freaking valve cover gasket in place. I mean, valve cover in place. Oh man, we're close to being done with this job, everybody, everybody, everybody. And I'm glad. I need to get this done because I got a lot of other work I gotta get done. So yeah, these rubber grommets just kind of push into place there, and then your bolt goes through the middle. Be ideal if it had a, I always thought it, good Lord. Somebody ran off the road out there. Drug a trailer off the side of the road on accident. Dang, that was loud. Scared me. Okay, let's start some bolts. These 4-valve covers don't really self-align that good. They don't have a dowel or anything like that, or no grommet that holds them in place. So you kind of need to, show you in a second. They kind of want to slide down some. So you'll have to just kind of eyeball, center them up. It's not, it don't have to be perfect, but just to keep these bolts centered on these grommets, you're gonna have to kind of line up your valve cover, so to speak. Yeah, so it's gonna want to just naturally kind of droop down. The easiest way to do it is line up your spark plug tubes in the center and send it. Start from the inside, working your way out to a bigger pattern, just like we would any other component. These bolts just kind of tighten against that grommet. It doesn't really have a shoulder that stops it, so you gotta be careful, like just go into town, run them home, because it's just gonna push that grommet out. But that's that. Heck to the yeah. We're on to something. Home stretch, that's what we're on. Okay, I'll go ahead and stuff these coils back in. That's stupid easy, stupid easy. Then our little coil cover deal goes on. Make sure you don't pinch any of the coil wires going together. It's these two 10 millimeters here. That's that. Retrieve our AC line stuff down in here earlier. All right. Looking good in the neighborhood. What next? Throttle body, throttle body. Ready to be done with this. Got an Explorer 3.5 water pump to do after this. Actually got a couple of them to do. You guys out there familiar with those things? Explorer front wheel drive, 3.5 liter water pumps. Internal water pump deal driven by the timing chain. Any of you Ford fans, you got to be pretty familiar with that. The newer model 3.5 in the Explorers, it's got a internal, if you will, timing chain driven water pump. So it's a little bit involved to do. Not terrible. It's not like miserable hard. It takes a little bit of work. Put this back on our AC line down here. What else do we got? Another AC line. This fuel line right here. Got our clip in the fuel line. Now we can put this line on here. Put these things back on. You guys doing AC work or whatever, all these little stays for your AC lines, just it takes 2 seconds. Put them back on. It looks so much better. It makes it look like you never worked on it. And I'm big on that. Now intake tube, which is a pain in the butt. Not really. Not that bad. Kind of finicky. Kind of trickery to get in there. Big dog air filter. The mass airflow and stuff is in the fender well. I have to tighten that up in the fender well. I don't really like that. I might change that for him. It's a little bit kinked right there, I feel like. Not fully kinked, but I don't like it. Hey, we're done. Back together. Boy, I'm gonna do an oil change on it. Okay, that's that. Boy, what a relief. I give everything kind of a once over under here. Charge the AC, air filter, oil change, done. And there's all 16 of our old valve stem seals. Like I said, no smoking gun, no huge problem. Oh yeah, this is definitely bad, but they're just all kind of brittle, crunchy. The rubber's just hard around all of them. Kind of a carbon ring built up around some of them, but yeah, that's it. That's your valve stem seals. That's all of them. Okay, getting finished up here. They're all drained out, oil changed, oil filter, new oil filter. Get her topped off with only the best. At least around these parts anyways, that's how we do it. I'm not a big oil snob, big oil buff, whatever, but yeah. If it's a factory car, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not big into all the expensive oils and additives and all this junk, just a good old basic oil change with manufacturer's oil. Can't go wrong. This is what they said was okay for it when it was brand new, so still good now. I love Motorcraft oil. 100% love a Motorcraft filter. Anytime I'm doing anything, I try to use an OE filter, OE oil. Not always OE oil if it's not available. Some of the import stuff is hard, but yeah, no. Chevrolets get Delco filters, Dodges get Mopar filters, Honda get Honda filter, same, so forth and so forth. So, have a very factory-oriented mindset, just because I was a dealership tech forever, so that's my style. With any luck, this thing should run. Yeah, I think we're ready to fire. We're all together. Magnetic bolt tray is empty. No bolts left in there. Everything under the hood, ready to rip. Let's see if this thing will run. Okay, and we're running. Okay, I think we're pretty good to go, boys. Let this thing fully warm up. I did have the, good night. Can't get the coolant cap off. Did have to pop that heater hose loose. Well, I guess the only thing left to do now is take her down the road, see how she does. They got the AC machine hooked up. That's the last thing we need to do. Shoot a charge back into this baby, and we are ready to take her down the road. I just hooked the scan tool up, got power balance going, make sure we're looking good. Got a nice flat power balance curve over there, hard to see, but yeah, no misfires, no engine light, nothing like that. We're dialed in. Okay, there you go. Got our Cobra back from the test drive. Runs like a freaking top. This car actually runs really well. These early 4-valve cars, I say early, this is not an early 4-valve car. This would be a later, I guess, because the early would be an SN. Anyways, 99 to 01 cars, the 4-valve cars were, most of them were kind of lackluster. They just really didn't give you much more over a 2-valve, but this car runs really good. It's obviously got some good mods, got the intake, got the spacer, full exhaust system. It feels like it's got a gear in it, I can't tell. Anyways, car runs good, drives good, ready to go. Shouldn't be smoky for him anymore. Yeah, that's about it. Got done driving it. Wrap it up. I'm gonna finish wiping it down under the hood, making it look good, presentable. Wipe the top of the fenders off, make sure I didn't get any handprints anywhere. Yeah, ready to go. I'm gonna finish that up, call the customer, tell him to come get this thing out of here. He'll be happy, get his hot rod fixed up. He can cruise the streets. It's a cool looking car, really cool looking car. Actually drives really good. Like I said, drives good, runs strong. Anyways, thanks for sticking around, hanging out this episode. Check out AUXITO links, check out our merch link, please. Check us out, give us some love. Make sure you're subscribed, comment, hit the like button, smash that freaking like button, get us up there, help us out. Stay tuned, more content for the next one, and I don't know what the next one will be, but stick around. Stay freaking rad.